What's up, everybody? One addict to another, addict to addict. I got Ed Morris here, man. If you don't know who Ed Morris is, you've been living under a rock all your life, for real, man. This dude, he's been on the news how many times?
More than you can count.
More than you can count. Give me the best one. Like, what was the best one? Like a good thing.
A good thing?
Yeah.
I say 3 deer and a man down beside Kroger's on 7th Street. They were caught in a storm drain up inside of a man, one of them pipes. And I went up in there and I covered the female's head up with my shirt and got her calm and got her out. And then I crawled back up in there and I got the 2 fawns out. They had fallen through they didn't have a grate on top of the manhole on the outside of it, and they had fallen through it and couldn't get out.
So how did the news just show up, or you showed up first?
Oh no, I showed up and the dude that worked inside Kroger's, his name was Sam Hirschberger. He was a meat cutter inside Kroger's.
Yeah.
He was outside when I came out of the tunnel with the last 2, the little fawns, and he seen what was going on. He asked me what happened. I told him, and he went in and called the news. And then he came back out and he bullshitted with me until the news got there and got my ass on TV, and I didn't care for that, but that's what happened.
Because you've done been on TV too many times already, bro.
Well, no one would believe a story like that, and they're like, I'm bullshitting on Ed Morris. He wouldn't do that. He might eat them, but he wouldn't even save them. So.
Man, like, Ed Morris, I'm sorry, I'm going to say, he's got a soft side. I mean, I had to ask this guy to marry his daughter. You know what that was like? You know what I mean? But it's cool, man. He's a cool dude, and his wife is awesome. I love her, dude. Man, it's cool, man.
My wife's the best woman I've ever met.
Like, you are the first parents that, that I've been with a woman that actually like me, and it's just nice.
Well, we believe in giving everybody one free chance.
I got one.
And when you screw that one up, you've got 2 choices. Either you can disappear, or you can grab the end of the shovel.
Yeah.
And
guess what I got him? I got him a shovel for Christmas just in case I messed up.
Yeah.
That's how serious I am. I ain't going to mess up. I love her.
Well, if he messes up and he hurts my baby, he'll have to dig the hole that I'm going to put him in.
Exactly.
So
anyway.
Back to...
We're talking about relationships.
Yeah, that's not addict.
Buried in a hole.
That's a whole nother story right there. And,
Alright, so we can get to, see, addict to addict. Oh yeah, I wanted to put this in here. Okay, so this organization is called One Addict to Another. That's where you're going to find everything. This show, particularly when I sit down and have an interview with people, or my sister sits down with somebody, it's going to be addict to addict. Addict to addict. Get it? If you don't, if it goes over your head, I don't know what to tell you. So,
stick your finger in your ear so it stops in the middle. All right?
All right, so Ed, how was your childhood, man?
Well, my childhood was a little weird, to say the least. I was raised up in the hills. Didn't really know.
In Parkersburg?
No, not in Parkersburg. I didn't move to Parkersburg until I was, I don't know, I was in my teens. But before we moved to Parkersburg, we lived in Tucker County and on the farm. And the old man was a judge, juror, and executioner of it all. Yeah. And my old man was a big old man.
Pretty hard dude.
He was, he didn't have no sense of humor. Okay. When they said sense of humor, he said, I'll take the next one. And damn it, they ran out before we got to him. So,
don't you have, 7 sisters?
I got 7 sisters and 2 brothers.
7 sisters. I know them all.
Yeah, you do. I don't think you've met my little brother. I don't know if you've met my older brother yet.
I've never met your brothers.
Okay, well, Alan, he lives in Cleveland. And my little brother, Danny, lives in Mineral Wells. I live here in Parkersburg.
So would you say like your dad was being tight just because, I mean, if you have 7 kids or 8 or however many kids,
9 total, 10 kids total.
That's like military stat. Like you gotta.
Well, it was pretty much like that. Yeah. You towed the line, and if you didn't, he'd knock you back into the line, so you'd make sure you towed it. And he didn't like to chew his cabbage twice. If he told you to do something, you damn well better did it. Because if he had to tell you the second time, he'd take the palm of his hand and he'd hit you right square in the middle of the forehead. And when he'd do that, you'd land about 15, 20 feet away from him. And then he'd walk over there and say, now that I got your attention, how much you doing what I asked you to do?
Yeah.
So
I've been there. Yeah, I've had a stepdad who's done that.
That was my dad. He was a hard man.
So was he a drinker? Was he a drugger?
He was a drinker, and he lives on prescription medications because his brain got scrambled in Korea and in Nam. So he didn't stand a chance. And his dad, my grandpa, was a little Irish man that had even less sense of humor than him.
Yeah.
And my grandma, his mom's mom, was a big German woman. And I don't think Germany.
I'm German, man.
They don't have sense of humor if you're full blood German. I don't.
Not full blooded. I used to not have a sense of humor.
But,
I have a little bit more one now. But
they're pretty. They were hard-nosed people. Now, Grandpa, he loved me, but my old man was hard on me because he said.
Do you think because he loved you?
Oh, it was because he loved me, but he also wanted to have one of his boys be a man, is what he said.
Yeah.
And he said, since you got my name, you get to be the man.
Yeah.
So that's why he whooped my ass every day, even if I didn't deserve it. And usually I did. I'm not going to say I was a good kid, because I definitely...
Let's get to that. I mean, did you deserve it?
Oh, yeah. I deserved damn near every ass kicking I got. Now, there's a couple of them I didn't deserve. But...
No, listen. Like, for me, there's a line to that. Like, I believe fully, like, if your kid needs his little ass smack to get his attention, I believe in that. But, like, hitting him in the face, like, abusing him like that, I think that's unnecessary.
The old man used a leather strap
Yeah.
off of a bridle, off of a horse bridle. Okay? And he'd lace you with that. Now, if my mom had to whoop you, she'd make you go out to the willow tree and pick a branch.
That's what my nanny did.
Okay? And you'd be
switch.
you'd be standing out there at the willow tree, looking at that fucking willow tree going, that one will break my legs if I pick that one.
Don't pick the small
one.
one.
The little one, she'll send me back out here. That one there's going to wrap around me 3 times.
But some of the small ones hurt, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you know, the whole time when you're doing that, your mom or your grandma or whoever it was standing in the kitchen window watching you.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's actually out there picking a switch.
Yeah.
But you know damn well if you didn't come back in with one, it was going to be even worse because she'd tell Dad. But,
I'm telling Dad. You would keep it up. I'm going to tell Dad.
Well, I love my mom, but my mom was funny as hell. She'd be beating your ass, and she'd be screaming, "Who do you think you are?" While she was beating your ass, constantly. She'd ask you that 3 or 4 times while she was beating your ass. Okay? When I was 13 years old...
What did you say?
Well, I never answered her until I was 13. And when I was 13, she was whooping my ass with a switch, and she asked me that, and I said, well, if you don't know who the fuck I am, why the hell are you hitting me? That was the wrong answer.
That's the wrong answer.
Because after that, Dad came home, and then I realized who she was.
Was that the first time you cussed your mother?
Yep, first time I ever cussed around my mom.
First and only, or was there more?
Yeah, first and only.
First and only.
I was 32 years old, and I said, damn, in my grandma's house. Stubbed my toe in the kitchen and said, damn. Grandma's clear in the living room. She heard me. This little old woman comes in there, grabs a hold of my earlobe, drags me into the front room, sets me down on the couch, and tells me, now you sit there and think about what you just said in Grandma's house. And you know what? I'm 32 years old. I'm a full-grown man with a wife and kids of my own. And I sat there and gave it some thought until Grandma told me to get up. But
that's discipline.
That's called respect, is what
respect.
It's
respect and discipline. Yeah. I don't know if I could. Yeah. If my nanny did that, I'd probably sit down.
Well, you got to picture my grandmother. She's only 4'3".
Oh, jeez. Speaking of grandmas, can I ask for a prayer request? My nanny Lois Kraft is having surgery today, so it's a pretty big surgery on her hip. So if you guys could just pray for her, make sure everything goes all right. Everything will be fine.
Shoot one out for her because she deserves one. She's a good woman.
Yeah, she is. So there's a little bit of abuse, and he's a drinker and prescription drug. I want to get back to that. So because he was in what, Korea?
Korean War and Vietnam.
I want to talk about that. See, I understand like people that go overseas and fight for our country, and they see and have to do the things that they do, they come back. I mean, who are we to judge them if they end up, doing drugs and trying to get...
Right.
I mean, come on. That's...
You're right. But a lot of people do. They judge, and they pass judgment before they even know anything about the person.
Exactly.
And
you don't know what that person's been through.
If you wanna know somebody, get to know them. Walk a mile in their shoes. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't want to sound like an old country song or anything,
No,
but
you're
that's
right.
the damn truth. If you want to know somebody, be genuine with them and get to know them. Don't sit there and blow smoke up their ass and expect them to believe you.
Yeah.
So, in that words, I mean, the first time I ever did the actual drugs, I was 11 years old when I first smoked my first joint.
Yeah.
I was out
I
behind
don't know what I was.
out behind the barn smoking a joint, and my dad walked up on me. I had no idea he was there. And I finished smoking that joint, coughed my whole.
He likes to smoke it?
Oh yeah, he stood right there in the barn behind me, and I had no idea he was there. Let me smoke that whole damn thing. I was high as a fucking kite. And he walks out there, he says, "Well, now that you're done smoking, you like getting high?" And next thing I know, I was in the hayloft with a pitchfork, cleaning out the hayloft.
Yeah.
And he said, "Now, once you get done with that, you go down there and you clean the barn, the stalls out, and to clean the stall out, you use an old coal shovel. Okay, big old, well, it looked like a snow shovel, but it's a coal shovel. And you scraped all the shit out of the floors in that barn. Because when the old man walked through there again, if he found the slightest little bit of droppings in that barn, then he was going to get dropped. And that's the truth. But I can't really be mad at my dad for doing that to me, because he made me the man I am today. He made me be honest.
Amen.
And he installed a work ethic into me that is missing in today's youth.
See, the way we were raised, the way you were raised, I was raised, is totally different to how the kids are being raised today. I'm sorry, parents, but it is. I mean, I watch these kids cussing their parents, doing whatever they want. There's no respect. There's no. I mean, it really makes me sick.
It does me too.
It really makes me sick.
The thing about this is today's generation, the youth of today, is going to be running the world tomorrow. Okay, none of these people can get outside and do a damn thing. All they can do is work on their computer.
That's right. Computer, cell phone.
They don't have no imagination. If they have a problem, they don't know how to fix it because, well, it's not on the computer. It must not be able to fix it.
Yeah.
If they can't Google it or go on or whatever the hell that shit is, they can't figure out how to do a damn thing.
And I'm not saying all parents, but some parents just let them. You know why? Because they just want to keep them entertained because they don't want to.
Yeah,
they don't want to deal with them. You know what I mean? Just take this phone, take this computer. You know, just go. You know how I do with that? I don't say go like man does. Like we agree. Like my kid does chores every single day. Does homework. He gets straight A's and B's. No, he gets straight A's. But I make it like I don't give him a tablet. I say go outside and play. Go outside and play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the truth is, when I was a kid, if I wanted something, I usually had to build it myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm like yourself things.
I get parts. My first bicycle that I wanted, I got parts from 5 different people so I could build a bicycle.
Yeah.
Later on in life, I was the fucking king of bicycles for a while, and then I passed that on to my son. And my son could do anything with a bike. If you mentioned it, he'd tell you how to do it, and if he didn't tell you, he'd show you.
So
and I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's ass about that. I'm telling you what, my son was the best bike builder in West Virginia.
I believe it.
And
I believe it.
Anyone that knew him knows I'm telling them the truth.
So on that, so Ed was a big back in the day.
I was an alcoholic and a pothead.
Very alcoholic. Pothead too?
Pothead too, yeah.
Now, how much did you drink?
About 5/5 of turkey in one setting just to get a buzz at the end. When I first started out, I'd drink a fifth of turkey and be all happy and everything. And I didn't get violent unless someone said something wrong to me. Now, if someone pushed my button while I was drinking,
everybody's wrong turkey, that's the way it goes.
Then kick you over the door because they're about to have a bad day.
Yeah. So 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
like to think like, no, I could drink. You know, I can hang with the big dogs, but 5, I'd be running naked, drinking down to the street, man. It would be bad. Jaeger too, Jägermeister.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what.
Bad news.
Last winter, right after my son passed, It was in
So
January.
your son passed. Oh, let's get back to that. Let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
So you used to do that, then you quit
Yes.
drinking. What now? Tell that story. Like why?
Okay. Well, when I quit drinking, my wife came to me. I had got off work. I worked up at LB Foster's. I got off work, and I was sitting there at the house getting ready to watch a football game. And when I was sitting there, my wife came to me, and she said, "Honey, I love you, but I can't do it anymore. It's either me and the kids or the alcohol." And she left. Took the kids and left. I sat there and watched that whole damn game.
Did you drink alcohol?
I didn't touch it.
You didn't touch
Didn't
it?
open a bottle. Didn't open a beer. And
Sunk in right there.
I just sat there and watched that game and realized I couldn't even enjoy the game. And that was the game that the Bears played Vikings.
Yeah.
And the Bears, well, they always beat the Vikings. I mean, pretty much all the time. But it was a good game. But I didn't even get to enjoy the game because that was playing in my mind. And after the game went off, jumped in my truck and I went and found my wife. I told her, I said, "No, you and the kids need to come home. I don't drink anymore."
That makes me almost want to cry.
And I quit for 20 years.
20 years.
And my son passed away in November of last year.
How old was he?
He was 33 years old.
33. He overdosed, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
I don't believe it, but that's what they say.
You don't believe it?
No, I don't. Because my son had been clean for like a month and a half. And he came up the night before he passed and borrowed $80 off of me. Because him and another dude was going drinking.
Yeah.
And when he came in that night, he was drunk. Because I heard him. He's not a quiet drunk. He's a singing drunk.
Yeah.
And he could caterwaul with the best of them. But he was singing. And then I heard him leave again. And then the next morning, my wife went down the steps and found him. And she screamed for me, and I went down there. And we tried doing CPR and stuff while we called 911, and it was too late. He'd been gone for like 3 hours.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
And when the night he passed, the dude that was with him robbed him.
That happens a lot, man. Like.
And see, and that was the thing that bothered me because we invited this dude into our house, and they said if someone would have got some help for him when it started happening, he could still be here. But the dude instead sat there and watched him die, then stole his leather jacket and his computer and his phone, one of his phones. And well, I finally found the dude with his leather jacket, and I got it back.
Yeah, we got it hanging.
Yeah,
right in here. He got it back.
I
remember the day he got it back. It wasn't pretty.
I thought I killed the motherfucker. I ain't gonna say who it was, but he knows who it was.
Man.
But I thought I killed him. But a friend of mine stopped me, and so I came down home and I called my wife and told her, I said, "I think I just killed somebody."
Yeah, I remember that phone
And
call.
she said, "What?"
Like, oh my God.
And
done did it again.
yeah, that's what I thought. And I don't want to do that shit again. But anyhow,
I mean that feel. I mean.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's against the law of nature. I mean, I've been through the same thing. Everybody knows. I lost my son too. I mean, there's children shouldn't die before your parents.
No, you should never have to bury your child.
You shouldn't have to.
No.
That really messes you up, man. So all right. So you quit for 20 years, and
20
then that
years.
happened.
My son passed away. The very next day, I went and got me a fifth of wild turkey. Not a fifth, a case of wild turkey in the fifths.
Yeah.
There's 12 bottles in a case, and within a week, all 12 were gone.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of started a downhill spiral from that.
I mean, I can't say that I blame you. I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and judge.
Oh,
Something like that happens.
I'm not trying to justify it either. It's wrong to
people,
do.
Addicts. I don't like. Okay, so 20 years. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's always in you. You
Oh,
always
yeah.
want to turn to alcohol or drugs or whatever you're on. You know what I mean?
Well,
it could be 20 years later.
Let me
And
make
something
this.
happens like that.
Let me make this one
Go
thing
ahead.
clear real quick.
Go ahead.
I quit the alcohol. I still smoke marijuana. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll probably smoke it until the day I die.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but that's the truth.
Don't hate to say it, man. I don't
I
think
mean-
there's
I
anything
mean-
wrong with marijuana. I don't smoke it myself, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't see crazy ass people wreck it, you know.
Yeah, you never heard anyone overdosing on marijuana.
Overdosing or doing something stupid. All you do is eat,
Yeah, eat and sleep. I mean, you might sink into a piece. You might turn into a piece of furniture for a little while when you zone out or something. But at least you're still conscious. I mean, the shit that they're doing today. I mean, I went to a party one time.
Oh my God!
And these three guys walked in, and it was turning out to be a hell of a party. They walked in, sat down on the couch, tied off, hit themselves with needles, and boom, they were out. And that's where they stayed the whole damn party.
Yep.
I'm thinking, how in the hell was that fun? I didn't know what they used.
I can testify. I can testify why. I mean, it's not fun. I mean, but it is. Okay, so I mean, I used to be. I wasn't a heroin addict, but I had my time for a couple, 2 or 3 months where I was doing a little bit more. I don't like needles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every time I had somebody had to hit me. You know, when I say hit me, I mean shoot it into me. I couldn't do it myself. And but that drifting off, you know, it's just like I don't want to like boast. You know, I'm not saying this is good. I mean, it's the worst drug. In my mind, I mean, heroin
takes a lot.
It's death.
Took a lot of young people that didn't need to die.
And but that feeling is, I mean, I can't even really explain it, man. It's almost like if I knew what heaven felt like, that's what I would say it is. But it's really hell in the end. You know what I mean? And that's why ultimately I decided to go to rehab, because I was doing a little bit more heroin, and I liked it. I liked it so much, and I knew it, and I knew it was going to kill me. I knew I was like, if I keep doing this, I'm going to die. So that's ultimately why I went, though, because my kids need me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway,
that drug, their drug, I don't understand that, and that's just like that.
I'm glad you don't.
Because
I want you to understand it. Like,
well,
I don't want you to be mad at the person.
I'm not mad at the person. I'm
very
mad
hard
at
to
the
get
damn
off of.
disease. And then it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just like alcoholism. It's a damn disease.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't choose to be an alcoholic, but before I knew it, I was.
Yeah.
I was full blown.
My nanny told me when I was 10 years old that I was going to be an alcoholic. And I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, I'm not going to be an alcoholic, Nanny. She said, yeah, you are. Your mom's an alcoholic. Your father's an alcoholic. You grew up with alcoholics. You're going to be an alcoholic. She told me this. And I was so upset, you know. But then, you know what? By the age of 13, I was an alcoholic by the age of 13. Yep. I was drinking every day.
Well, when I first started drinking, I was drinking moonshine. Because my dad made his own
White
moonshine.
Lightning?
White Lightning. And my grandpa made something called a sipping tea. Okay, it was White Lightning, but it was a sipping tea.
Yeah,
it was nice and smooth. Tastes like a Long Island iced tea, sort of, without all that rum taste to it. But I mean, it was delicious. And he'd sit on the front porch when I was a kid and drink him a mason jar of it every night. Called it his quality time with God is what he called it. His sipping tea. And he'd sit out there on the front porch in his rocking chair and drink his sipping tea. And he gave me drinks of that. The very first shot of liquor I ever took, actual liquor, was from David Allen Coe.
David Allen Coe.
He used to come to the farm and hunt in November with my dad. And they'd sit on the porch in the evenings and drink. And I was out there because they played music and stuff, and I enjoyed music and stuff. So I was out there, and David Allen Coe gave me a shot, my very first shot. And
you can say that. That's awesome, man.
Well,
I'm sorry, but that's awesome.
It might be awesome, but if I'd have known that, I couldn't understand why my mom got so upset that night. But
she knew.
Yeah.
That first shot, she knew that was it.
Yeah, she knew that I was on a downhill spiral from there.
I get it.
By the age of 11, I was drinking, I don't know, 3-4 times a week. And, I mean, it got worse from there.
So, I just got an idea, like, okay, so, I think everybody, I mean, almost, maybe not everybody, but I say 90% of people went through a situation like that when they were younger, to where they had their first shot or they smoked their first joint, okay, and a lot of us turn into addicts, you know, but not all turn into physical, like, addict, like, you know, smoking weed and all that, and drinking, but they turn to medical,
yeah,
you know, legal, doctors, You know what I mean?
And that's true.
Adderall. Whatever they got for like what is that? Klonopins, Vicodins.
Yeah, all in that bullshit.
Xanax.
That's just another word for dope.
But they're fine. You know, this is what pisses me off is people that sit. I mean, they're sitting back there doing all that, and they're judging us because we drink and we do whatever stuff we do, just because it's not legal. Just because the government hasn't found a way to make money off of it yet.
They haven't figured out
You know
how to
what I
tax.
mean? That pisses me off when people judge people like that. When you're sitting out doing the same fucking thing. You're doing the same thing that we're doing. You're just doing it in a pill form, and a doctor gave it to you.
Yeah. Well, I can act like a doctor. I can put a white jacket on and write you a prescription for a quarter bag every week. Yeah. Does that make you going to want to go out and get you a quarter bag every week? Well, hell, my doctor prescribed it to me. Well, then it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
But if you go out on the street on your own and buy a quarter bag, well, now you're a damn pothead.
Yeah.
So
I got it.
You know, one hand washes the other, and that's like the pot calling the kettle black. It's bullshit. Okay?
Bullshit. I agree.
If you do drugs, it don't matter what form they come in or how you receive them, you're still doing fucking drugs.
A drug is a drug is a drug
That's
is a
right.
drug.
You can't say, well, Dr. Seuss told me these were okay. And that guy that had the chocolate factory, Willy Wonka, telling you that the snozzberries really taste like snozzberries. Okay? All that bullshit is the same fucking drug, just someone else wrote it different.
Yeah.
Okay? And, I mean, I started smoking weed when I was 11 years old, and I liked it. Didn't care much for the work that came with it.
Yeah.
Because I thought that's what you had to do when you smoked weed. You had to work.
I never really liked it. I never really liked smoking weed. It always made me paranoid. I'd be paranoid as shit, man. Oh, my parents are going to know. Even when I got older, I was like, oh my God, I got to pay my bills. I don't have no money. You know what I mean? That's how weed makes me. That's why I don't smoke it.
It does that to a lot of people. A lot of people it makes paranoid. Me, I was...
so I know better. Like, I won't keep on smoking and doing something that makes me paranoid like that.
Well,
I used to hang out with crackheads when I'd be smoking crack, and these motherfuckers would be like, oh, the FBI's coming through the TV, you know, but they would keep smoking every day. And I'm like, why would you do something that makes you so freaking paranoid and just keep doing it? I don't get that. If anybody could give me some input on that sometime, please let me know.
I'd like to hear that. If you can give that answer to him, have him give it to me, because I'd like to know that answer myself. Because, like I said, when I smoked weed, made me productive. I wanted to work. I'd get busy doing something or anything, and it didn't matter what. But that was me. That was the way I was raised. Idle hands were the work of the devil, and that's the truth.
That is, boom, idle hands is the work of the devil.
So if you
true.
When I worked in a restaurant, I worked at Shoney's, and in the late 70s, I was working at Shoney's, and they always preached that if you got time to lean, you got time to clean.
Yeah.
Well, my dad said pretty much the same thing my life growing up. But he never said you got time to lean, you got time to clean. He said idle hands are the work of the devil.
Yeah.
And he said I'll be damned if there's going to be a devil in my house. And when Kiss first came out in '72.
Kiss?
Yeah, Kiss, the rock group.
I've seen them 4 times.
I've seen them.
I love Kiss.
I've seen them 29 times. My wife would never go to a concert with me.
Gene Simmons ringing.
Paul Stanley's.
Paul Stanley's a man. I like them all, man.
But I went 29 times and could not get my wife to go to a Kiss concert with me. Finally, I talked her into it. And she said, I don't think I'm going to. And she didn't. She bitched the whole time going down. We got there, watched the concert. Now, you ask my wife who her favorite rock band is.
Kiss.
That's right.
Did you go to the farewell tour?
Oh, yeah.
I did to Pittsburgh. I went.
Yeah, that's where we went to Starlight.
I went to I went to one in Starlight, and I went to the other one like downtown, like in this. I can't remember what it's called. It's like it's big old stadium.
Yeah, I know.
Not a stadium, but it's like called the hall or whatever.
It's actually a theater.
But man.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, what was we at?
Anyhow, but my wife never liked Kiss, and I took her to that, and now she likes it. And everyone else seems to think that because what brought the Kiss subject in was Dad always said that my dad was a Baptist preacher, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh, whoa, no, you didn't mention that. He was what? A Baptist preacher?
Yes.
What?
My
I did
dad-
not know that.
My dad was ordained. He was a Baptist preacher, and he could talk the Bible to you until you was blue in the face, and you didn't say anything, and he knew it all.
So how, I mean, where are you at
And
on the Christianity?
I'm a Catholic now. I converted to Catholic.
You're a Catholic. You
because-
believe in God.
Oh yeah, I
You
believe in God, and I
Jesus.
believe in Jesus, and I believe there's a hell and there's a heaven, and I believe I'm going to be in hell because I was an asshole my whole entire life.
No, that's not
And
true.
well, let me finish. I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of, and I should have never done. I mean, yeah, they say if you ask God for forgiveness, He'll forgive you.
Ask Jesus, yeah.
Oh,
You're already forgiven.
that's what they say, but
I don't care what you did. A sin is a sin is a sin. Me cussing and somebody stabbing somebody in the face. A sin is a sin is a sin.
You know,
You're forgiven. That's why Jesus came down here and
gave His life for us and everything. I understand
it's
all
true,
that.
man.
I know. I believe all that, but
It's
I
true,
also
man.
believe that His kindness can only go so far. Because
No, His love is never ending, man.
well,
It's,
yeah,
it's,
I know
mean, it's-
that's what everyone says, but now think of
it
it
says
this
it
way.
in the Bible, man.
Okay, well, think of it this way: if His love is never ending, why is there so much violence and crime against humanity in the world?
Well, okay, so this is a big subject. You
Yeah.
know, why does God do this and why does He allow this? God allows all that stuff to happen because He uses it for His benefit.
He gave us free will.
He uses it for His benefit because if something happens in your life, okay, and then it's like traumatic,
Yeah.
and God will use that because He like you might be mad at Him at first and everything, but He's going to make you think about Him if you haven't thought about Him yet.
Right.
You'll be like, God. Then you'll be like, God, why'd you let this happen? Then you're going to start talking to Him, and then I mean, you might cuss Him. I cussed Him, you know what I mean? But he got your attention.
Oh yeah, he's
You
got
know what
my,
I mean? And He's going to use that because He needs. You
Well,
know,
maybe if he'd have got my attention another way, because
That-
the way he got
there-
my attention,
He knows that there is no other way. He knows you, right? He knows you more than you. You
well,
know
that's
yourself.
probably true. But
He made you.
anyhow, I've got some doubts anymore. Okay?
I get it. I get it.
I
I
mean-
get it. There's some days where I'm like, there's no way I'm making it that way, man. You know.
Well,
But you will, as long as you stick with. As long as you stick with it.
well, I ain't gonna be one of them satanic worshipers or any of that bullshit. I don't believe in that
Well,
at
thank
all.
God.
But
Now,
I'm just
them
saying,
people, I don't know. They might go to hell. But the Bible says that when He comes back, He will allow none of His children that love Him to perish.
all right.
So that does that. So if you're going on Satan shit, man,
Yeah. Well,
you need to think about
yeah,
that.
you need.
I
you
mean,
seriously need
that's
to think about it.
eternity.
You definitely need to think about that
That's
because
eternity.
I mean, falling in a dark pit in a ring of fire for
For
eternity, for no end. You never hit the bottom, and the fire never goes out. That sort of sucks to me. That sounds like it would suck.
I wish I remember this guy's name. I watched his video on YouTube, and he was talking about how he dreamed that Jesus or God let him feel hell and what it felt like. Okay, and something dude said. I mean, it was terrifying. It was terrifying the way it is. Like you only get like so. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, I
but-
understand. Well, I'm going
but,
to tell you. I'm going to tell you something. The people that tell you this, they're full of shit. Okay?
Tell you what.
This right here.
What?
I died on the operating table.
Yeah.
I didn't see no bright light. I didn't see all my dead relatives.
Yeah.
Okay? People that tell you that, they're full of shit. Okay? The only way you do that, I guess, is if they don't bring you back. But if you get to come back, you didn't see any of that shit. Okay? And the best way
I
to...
felt it.
Well, you might feel it.
I
but-
felt it. I got, I pretty much died. I got shot, what
Yeah.
I mean?
But,
But I was in complete peace.
well, see, that's different.
I was in complete peace.
Complete peace is one thing. Seeing your relatives is another.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Well, think about it like this. Think life as a fisherman, okay? And you're the fish. Okay? You're out there, dude's ice fishing, middle of wintertime, drill them hole in 6 inches of ice, drop this line down in it, pulls out a couple fish, and all of a sudden you swim by and you see that nice juicy worm, you bite. You get pulled up through a bright light. You look around, all your dead relatives laying on the ice. That's what people are trying to make you believe when you die. That's what you see. That ain't.
Who's trying to make you believe that?
Anyone that tells you that they've seen their dead relatives and shit when they die.
Yeah,
they're full of shit.
Well, that's the devil. That's Satan and works. Man, he tries to distract you from anything from God. So he's going to make you. They might have. I mean, the devil might have made them see that just for them to come back. But you're right when you said maybe if you come back, the devil might make you see that. But if you see Jesus, you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead.
You're dead.
You ain't coming back.
And I've heard many stories of where people that didn't even believe in Jesus, the last thing they did was look up and be like, reach your hand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. I seen.
Listen, I started this show for God. I know it doesn't seem like it because I mean it's rated R and everything like that, but God is the one who told. I mean, I'm supposed to be doing something like this.
Well, the thing about this is
it's supposed to be faith-based.
You're trying to reach other people and try to help people. That's why I agreed to come on this show. I mean, I don't really care if anyone likes me or don't like me or anything. It doesn't bother me. I'm still going to live my life the way I am.
Yeah.
But
that's why
if something I say can resonate with somebody and help them out, then it was worth my time.
Exactly.
And
even if it's one person.
That's right. One person. That means somebody listened.
Yeah.
But all honestly, and this is no bullshit, I was an alcoholic, a full-blown alcoholic. I was a damn son of a bitch as a person. I was the meanest motherfucker you ever met. I mean, when I wasn't drinking, if I didn't have a drink, you didn't want to approach me.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And then I kept smoking my weed to try to make me forget the alcohol. And all that did was want me more alcohol.
We always try to go to another thing.
One vice from another.
Yeah,
and
better.
It didn't work.
It's better.
It didn't
like
work.
Cocaine to meth or meth to cocaine.
That don't work. I've been down that road. It don't work.
Yeah.
But that's like when I quit rubbing snuff. I started rubbing snuff when I was 3 years old. That's a drug. Tobacco is a drug. I don't care how you look at it. It's a drug. Nicotine is a drug. I started rubbing snuff when I was 3 years old. When I was 44 years old, I quit rubbing snuff, started smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
About 9 months ago, I woke up, threw the cigarettes down, quit all of it altogether, just boop, and didn't go to anything. I'm a happier person for it. And now a lot of people got upset when I quit smoking because I didn't have the cigarettes for them to bum off of. That's those people that work for Perkins, Birch, Pot, and Steel.
Yeah. So what is it again?
Perkins, Birch, Pot, and Steel is when these people go out, the backpackers or the tweakers or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And they go out and they walk around neighborhoods checking out people's yards.
Stealing. It's bad in Parkersburg. It's ridiculous.
They'll see something in the daylight and they'll make a mental note of it. Now the motherfuckers are smart enough, sorry about the language, but they're smart enough to realize where they were that earlier that day and they know where that thing is that they're going to go back and steal. And they go back at nighttime and rip it off. And they think that's all right to do that. I mean, this person...
They really do think it's okay.
This person worked hard.
In their mind.
To get this. They worked to get what they had.
That pisses me off, man.
And these motherfuckers, and again, it's all about the language, come steal it.
Yeah.
That there bothers me.
That bothers me too.
I mean, if I catch another person in my yard, they ain't going to have to send the cops out, and they ain't going to have to send the ambulance out.
Send the hearse.
They're going to have to send out a morgue. The dude with a body bag, because I'm going to put a bullet in their house.
All right. Yeah.
But anyhow.
You got that?
Anyhow,
so,
back to my addictions. My alcohol was bad, but my wife made me...
So did you do any other drugs?
Oh, yeah. If it was a drug,
everything.
If it was drug, I tried it. Except for heroin. I've never done heroin. Never will. Never done fentanyl. Never will. Now, those other drugs that are pretty bad,
I was always a speeder, man.
Well, I did the speeder thing. I did the hallucinogenics. I like the hallucinogenics. The acid and the mushrooms and it was fucking. It was a blast.
I've heard so many stories about you and my mom and
I'm sure.
I can not mention your sisters' names.
Yeah.
7 sisters you got.
Yeah.
I've heard some stories, man.
No, I'm sure.
But I want to say that this is why I approach this show the way that I do. I don't approach this show as Bible thumping. I don't approach it as, oh, if you want, you need to get help, rehab, I approach this show to reach out to people. Nobody wants to go to anything like that.
No.
When you're an addict and somebody is like on here like preaching at you and Bible thumping and all this and this and this, you don't want to go to that.
Well, you ain't gonna listen to them either.
No.
The thing about this,
and they don't know. I mean, especially if they don't even know what it's all about.
Right.
They've never done drugs in their life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm reaching out to the people. Like, this is real life. Like, there is other people like you, man.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot more of them out there like you than what there is in a church, and that's the truth.
And you can
all
come
them
in
Bible
here.
thumpers, they don't hold a candle to the tweakers and the beaners and whatever else of what y'all call each other. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I mean that's just a bad situation, and it's getting worse because nobody seems to care. But the thing about it is when you went into rehab, did you go in there because someone made you, or did you want to go?
No, I
That's right. You wanted to
I
help
wanted to
yourself.
go, yeah.
You had to start helping yourself
Yeah.
in order for you to get any help.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these people don't understand. They think if they go get help, it's because someone made them go do it. So
They
they're not
don't
going
want
to do
it.
it. They ain't going to take the help.
No.
The only way
All they're
gonna,
thinking about is getting high.
That's
Getting the
right.
fuck out of there.
How
and
long
getting
can
high.
How long do I have to
Yeah.
stay in here before I can get high again?
Then they go out and they'll be like, okay, I did my 3 or 30 days.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. They'd be clean for 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
If
can't
you're
say
lucky.
nothing. I mean, I did 14 months, and I relapsed in 2 months. Within 2 weeks, I can't really say anything. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard. Being an addict, man, it is hard to stay off of, but I still turn to Jesus, man. That's who I turn to. I read my Bible as much as I don't read it as much as I should probably anymore, but I do. I get in it every day, a little, and it helps me. I mean, it keeps me, when I'm in a hole, used to, I couldn't get out of my hole.
Yeah.
But now when I read that Bible, it gets me out of my hole. He's
The
still
Bible-
there. Even though I'm messing up, he's still there. You know
Actually,
what I mean?
the Bible is a ladder. Is what the Bible is. It's actually a ladder, and this is the way so layman people can understand how to use a Bible. A Bible is not a book that you read and you have to follow the word for word, because no one can follow the word
It's different.
explicitly for the Bible. But what you can do is you can use that Bible as a stepping stone and get you to the next level.
Yeah.
And then you read a little bit more and it'll get you to the next level. It's a ladder, and I don't know if anyone.
God's going to
understands
get you. I mean,
That's right.
he's going to find a way to get you to.
that. If you believe in
relate
him,
to
if
you
you
know.
believe in him, then sooner or
Well,
later
it was
he's gonna be
planted
in
in
your
us.
life.
There's a seed planted in us. Like,
Yeah.
it's that thought's in your head.
Well,
But-
we're made in His image.
See?
But-
I love it when people know. I love it because I know a lot of the Bible. I mean, I did 14 months. That's all I did was read the Bible. So I love it whenever somebody like Ed and I had what's your friend's name? Phil on here. Like, he knew. When I hear people talk about, like, they know the scripture and they're not like bullshitting, I love it. It's just true. I mean,
It is. But
we're not bad people. Addicts ain't bad people.
No, we're
bad-
just people with problems.
Yeah.
And if people would take the time to get to know the person
Yeah.
before they get to know the drug problem,
Yeah.
that everyone would treat each other a little bit different.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
but
right.
a lot of people look at you and say, "Oh, you're a drug addict, or you're an alcoholic." Well, I don't want nothing to do with you. You ain't nothing but trash. Motherfucker, I worked my whole entire life until I came in and retired. I mean, I never missed a day of work.
I used to hear people come up to me when I was in rehab, when I was doing my selling shirts, saying, I think I'll just line y'all up and just kill every one of you. I mean, I've had people say that to me. You know
Well,
what I
that
mean?
person right there ought to be the first one against the wall then.
And I wrote a song today talking about that, kind of, and, there's been a couple guys, dads, that have said that to me, like, just lining up, that didn't know, and I sold drugs, you know what I mean? Didn't know that their kids were doing it. I was selling drugs to their kids. And they're telling me that drug addicts are fucking nuts, need to die and stuff. And I'm thinking, I just sold your freaking kid an 8-ball last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, But the thing about this,
like, you need to think about that, man. Your kids are probably, maybe what they're going to end up being a drug addict.
they're going to need.
Then what are you going to say? You want to kill your own kid? I mean,
your kids need their parents, okay? And that's why there's so much problems with drugs right now. Is because the parents stopped being parents. They wanted to be your friend instead of your parent. I mean, I remember when they took paddling out of schools. I thought, what the hell are they thinking? Because, I mean, when I went to school, old Mrs. Munchmeyer, she could swing a piece of oak. And she wasn't afraid to swing it. She's a big old German woman, and she was mean and nasty. But she would powder your ass if you stepped across the line. Yeah. And then when you get stepped across the line, the old man, she'd call the old man powder your ass when you got home. Nowadays, there's no discipline. This timeout chair, if my parents would have said, all right, you go take a timeout and sit in that chair, I'd be, all right, yeah, instead of whipping my ass, I'll take that.
There's something different with these kids, like,
they don't,
like, we listen. I mean, to a point, we listen when we were kids. Yeah. I've seen these kids, it don't matter, these kids, parents would be yelling up, they don't give a shit.
No.
They do whatever they want.
They do whatever they want.
So I'm getting up and down, guys, and being squeamish.
My legs are hurting.
My legs are killing me. I can't always sit down.
I understand that.
I want to say, wasn't sure exactly why. I mean, I knew kind of why I wanted to start this show and why I wanted to do things to, get people heard and hopefully it help people. You know what I mean? So, but now I'm getting more. God's giving me a little bit more. Like after these shows. Every single person that I've done and my sister has done, after we're done and we're off the air, they tell me how they feel better. I mean, it's like weight gets lifted off of them. You know what I mean? It will. I'm not saying you have to come in here and be on. You don't have to be on here if you don't want to be. Yeah. You can come talk to me just, man to man without even being on here. I'll talk to you. You know what I mean? Or you can do my podcast where your face ain't seen. I'll change your name. You don't even have to say you're you. Just tell your story. You know what I mean? I'm willing to do that. I'll do it.
Yeah, I understand that, and that's not a bad thing to do. If you don't want to be put out there, then we can give you a ski
I don't
mask.
agree with that though.
We can give you a ski mask.
I really don't agree with it. But and that's something else I'm going to talk about after this is not people that don't want other people to know. They're carrying guilt. You carry guilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. But the thing about it is the people that come to you and say, I'll do your show, and I don't want to be seen, that means they're not ready to face themselves. That's why they won't face the people. They're not ready.
But this could be a stepping stone,
yes.
Man.
But
I wasn't going to say this shit. I was going to do this on another thing, but now that we're talking about it.
No, we might as well say it. We might as well
I was
crack that
thinking
in.
about this earlier before we did this, about carrying guilt because you don't want people to know, certain people to know and everything. That's a weight on your shoulders that you wouldn't believe if you just got it out, man. If you just let it out, just let people know and how much it relieves you. But listen, hold on 1 second.
Honestly,
I recommend the Blue Bible or the Blue Letter Bible app on your phone. It's awesome. It's easy to go through. But Leviticus, I can't pronounce it. Leviticus or something like that.
I know what you're saying, but I can't think of how to pronounce it either. I'd have to
Leviticus, okay? 5, starting from, in Exodus too, but starting at 4, chapter 4, 3, all the way down. If you have time, read that. It talks about guilt, okay? But I wanted to read 5:5 says, when you become aware of your guilt in any of these ways, you must confess your sin. You confess your sin, man, and it sets you free. I mean, it might not be pretty at first. People are, they're going to be upset if they don't know. If they don't already know, they probably already know. You just think they don't know anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but be straight up because it's going to come. I mean, secrets come out.
All comes out in the wash, okay? Them old wives' tales that people tell you all the time, they ring to be true. They always say everything comes out in the wash. That means you might be able to bullshit somebody some of the time, but you ain't going to bullshit them all the time. And if
you can only ask your parents for money so many times to pay. They're going to know. You know what I mean? I get it. I mean, I understand. why you don't. I mean, I did it for a long time. I didn't want nobody to know.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I didn't
nobody knew.
I didn't want anyone to know I was an alcoholic. But you know, wild turkey's a little hard to get off your breath.
Yeah.
But I didn't think
I was very functioning though.
Well, I was
you
too.
functioning?
Oh yeah, I was functioning.
Functioning alcoholic?
Oh yeah. I built houses and worked for, welded all my life and built houses and never missed a day of work. But I'd drink every damn day. In the morning, when I wasn't drinking turkey in the evening, in the morning I'd start out with a 6-pack. That was my breakfast. At lunchtime, I'd go down, get me a 12-pack. That was my lunch. On the way home, I'd stop and get a case. And then I'd stop at the ABC store and grab me some liquor. And that was my dinner. And that's what I did.
We could talk all night, dude.
That's what I did for a long time. And
like the only time I missed work was when I didn't have drugs, and people would accuse me of, oh well, he missed work because he's out doing drugs and partying. And they're like, no, when I was at work whenever I had drugs. If I didn't have nothing, my ass wasn't getting out of bed. I wasn't going to go to work. But anyway, we're going to do a part 2 on this.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I mean,
And
I had to kind of talk him into this a little bit. He was kind of hesitant at first.
Yeah.
But like this dude, I mean, he has stories. I mean, it's good. But we're going to do a part 2. This is what I'm going to do. Like everybody that I've had on here that want to do a part 2, here in about a month or 2, I'm going to come back and if I don't have too many people already, and do a part 2 with everybody. You know what I mean? Maybe part 3. Who knows?
Yeah. Hell, you never know what one of us old stupid fuckers are going to say that might ring true to somebody out there and help somebody get a little bit of help.
I'm sorry that people get offended by some of the talk, but listen, there's people that's not like you that relate to people that talk like other people, like you know.
Yeah,
they relate to that.
I don't know if I'm too blunt or too forward. I don't beat the bush, and I don't believe in it. I'll tell you straight up what I think, and if you ask me a question, you better damn be sure you want an answer, because I'll give you an answer. It may not be the one you want, but you'll get an answer.
I said, come marry your daughter. He's like, oh man, we're going to get into that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But listen, this is the first thing he said. Like, he already heard about it because I proposed at the bar the night before. Or no, I didn't. No, this was before I proposed at the bar. But I told your wife or something. But as soon as I walked to the gate, you're like, what is this I hear you want to marry my daughter? And I'm thinking, oh my God. And I haven't known you very long.
No.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this dude. So he's like, come out back. And the shovel's back here. But then it was cool, you know.
I just tried to put a little fear of God into him.
No, man. But he said, you know, I think you're a good man, and I think you'd be good for my daughter. Yeah. So it was a good thing. You know.
But anyway. Then the day that he proposed to my daughter in the bar down there,
gave her the wrong ring.
He gave her the wrong ring, and he sends me this picture.
Gave her the wrong ring.
Shows me the ring that he gave her. So I messaged him back. Dude, you gave her the wrong ring.
Yeah. No, so I was wondering why, because people were like, let me see the ring. It's just like a regular ring. I didn't give her the diamond, you know what I mean? The diamond's at home. And people are looking at me like, cheap.
Well, a cheap bastard. That's a gold band.
Like, I'm like, what? What the fuck? You know?
That's just a gold band. What the hell are you? Some kind of cheap ass?
And I want to represent my way downtown, man. That's where me and my old lady go all the time, man. And people quit crashing into it, man.
Yeah, stop taking the walls out, man.
How do you do that?
if you're that drunk when you're leaving the polo club, go the other way. Because my way can't take too many more of them structures.
I'm telling you, but they were open that night. They don't fuck around, man. They were open that night. They didn't care.
You know, my way's been there ever since, when...
a long time.
Hold on. Ike Cunningham had a bar right there before my way came in. It was called Ike's.
I wish it still had the upstairs. It used to be upstairs,
used to have an upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, it still does, but they don't have it.
Yeah, but
bar
they don't have a secondary bar up there.
I wish they did.
But
I'd live there.
when it was Ike's,
yeah, I would.
I used to go down there when it was Ike's, and you used to go to 7th Street Supper Club. That's where the little dive across from the funeral on 7th Street. Then when Ike's went out, my way came in like 76 or 78, something like that, and became a regular hangout for me. Yeah. And that was a bad thing.
It's small. Wow, it's like a mixture. I mean, it's a mixture of everybody. You know? Yeah. I mean, it's cool. You know? But anyway, I love you guys. One
Nice talking with you.
Yep. Mr. Ed Moore.
If you need anything from me, ask somebody. They'll tell you where to find me. And I'll help you out if I can.
How to get a hold of me.
I mean, I'll help anybody out as long as they don't come to me and steal from me.
Yeah.
If I have something you need and I have it, I'll give it to you.
That's true.
But don't steal from me.
It has about everything.
And you all have a good night and be safe out there, all right?
Love you guys. One act to another. This is going to be on live on Facebook, or this is going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on YouTube. You guys know. I've actually been putting stuff on TikTok too, so check that out. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I want to represent Cindy Carpenter. I really appreciate what you've been doing. She's really been getting the word around about this, and I love you. Thank you so much for that. And
if
for everybody that's helping. Diana Crow, thank you so much.
A word out to Cindy Carpenter. If y'all don't know who she is and you want to know who she is, she has a beauty salon on Pike Street, right down the street from Old Man Rivers. Mm-hmm. Stop in. She'll give you a haircut for $10. Yeah, she's a good woman. Yeah. She'll treat you right. But I'm not trying to plug it or anything. I'm just telling you, she is a good woman.
Yeah. So, what else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Oh, yeah. This is what I was going to say. So, listen. I'm prideful. I'm prideful. I do not like asking people for anything. I don't. But I started this donation thing a few days ago. A couple of you have already donated. I really appreciate it. It's for it's just for like items for like shirts and cups and stuff like that for when people come in here to do interviews and stuff. They get it for free. And whoever donates, up to $20, you'll get a free shirt. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get this out. I'm trying to get one eye to another out there. I'm trying to help and reach out. You know what I mean? And
he can't afford the promotional value.
I can't afford it.
So if you all can help,
this takes money. All this takes money.
He'd appreciate it, and he'll help. He'll keep helping people as long as people.
I'm not going to spend a dime of it on myself. It's going to be strictly for one eye to an addict, or to another. I mean, I'm sorry, addict to addict. So. I really appreciate it. Love you guys. And we're going to be, I'll probably be on here. I'm not even going to say nothing, but you'll catch me next time, all right?
Y'all take care of yourself.